On this night, a mysterious part of the past will merge with the present, and when it happens, an insidious form of evil will descend upon the Collins estate. There will be those who will have strange and frightening premonitions of the horror that is to come, but for a long time, no one will know precisely how real and how close the danger is.
The waters shall nourish each grain of sand wedged between ancient sacred stones, and guide us to the threshold of a time to be, and restore our flesh and bones. Time is at hand.
Charles Delaware Tate. Now that is a name from the distant past. Where did you find it?
Oh, I found it in Collinsport at a little antique shop. Tell me, do you think it's genuine?
Don't worry. That's a curious thing about Tate. No one seems to have copied or forged any of his paintings. What brought on this sudden interest in late Victorian art?
Tell me, how would I go about finding out if Charles Tate is still alive?
Alive? I should think it most unlikely. Why on earth do you want to know?
Oh, I'm afraid I can't tell you that. No, it's information for a friend of mine.
I'll see what I can find out. Now I must go and visit a patient.
A patient?
A patient of Dr. Reeves. He called me up a week ago and asked for my help. It's a fascinating case. A young woman who's had a traumatic shock. We don't know what happened, but her hair's turned white and she's lost the power of speech.
What is this woman's name?
Sabrina Stewart. Why?
How long have you been working on the case?
About a week. Do you know her?
Yes. Yes, I met her once. Her brother consulted me about her. Have you met him?
Yes, he seemed a rather surly fellow.
I'm afraid my feeling is that you're fighting a losing battle. I examined her very carefully. And it's my feeling that she'll never fully regain her powers of speech.
Perhaps not fully, but I have made some progress with her already. She can say certain words and phrases. I think if I continue to work with her, she'll at least be able to tell me what her traumatic experience was. I'm due at 8. I must hurry.
Good night.
I'm sorry to shock you this way, Doc.
I'm afraid I'm not shocked. Carolyn told me that you had phoned her last night.
Is she here? I want to talk to her.
No. You can't talk to her now. You've got to answer some questions for me. Now, why did you leave Wyncliffe?
Because I was going stir-crazy in that padded cell.
Well, but it's not possible for you to be here. You know that. It's insane. You could change any minute without any warning.
I know. I no longer even have the luxury of waiting for the full moon. But that cell, solitary confinement, just isn't the answer, Julia. There must be some other way.
Chris, I don't want to raise any false hopes, but I have found out about a man named Charles Tate who might be able to help you if he's still alive. Of course, there's only a slim chance that he may still be alive.
Who is he? How does he know about me and my problem?
Well, I can't tell you any of that. Now, after I find him, I'll tell you everything.
If you find him, even if you do find him, it may be too late.
Why?
Because of Sabrina Stewart. I was engaged to her, you know. She's still in Collinwood. She's still the only person who ever witnessed the transformation. If she should talk, if she should ever regain her powers of speech, she'll tell everything she knows.
Tonight we'll begin by reviewing some of the things we've learned already. You ready?
Ready?
Do you know what your name is?
Sabrina Stewart.
Where were you born?
Malden, Pennsylvania.
Good. You lived there until you were 20 years old. And in that year, something happened one night.
Night.
That night is the last thing you remember.
I remember the night.
Sabrina, if you can tell me what happened that night, you can be well again.
The night Ned found me.
Do you know who Ned is?
My brother.
Good. You remember him finding you, so you must remember him asking you what happened. What did happen? What was it that frightened you so? You're beginning to remember, Sabrina. Tell me, please.
Who is Carolyn Stoddard?
What does that name mean to you?
I must see her. I must tell Carolyn Stoddard.
What do you want to tell her? What is it, Sabrina?
Hello, Carol.
Well, is that the best you can do? Just, hello, Carolyn? No apology, no explanation of where you disappeared to? Just, hi there, nice to see you again.
I had to go away for a while. I had to think things out.
You do too much thinking. But then I've told you that before, haven't I?
You have every right, of course, to be angry with me.
I've learned that being angry with you accomplishes nothing.
Shall I leave?
No. I think we should try talking again. Hello.
Carolyn, good evening. This is Timothy Stokes.
Oh, yes, Professor. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I wonder if I might ask you a great favor.
Oh, what is it?
I'm at the Graham Rest Home on the Shore Road. I've been helping Dr. Reeves with a patient of his, a young woman who's had a traumatic shock. I wonder if you could come here immediately.
May I ask why?
It's rather difficult to explain. We've been trying to help this young woman regain her power of speech. Tonight, for no reason that is apparent to me, She spoke your name.
Barnabas, you are back. Oh, thank God.
Yes, Julia, I'm back.
Oh, thank God. Oh, Barnabas, I'd begun to give up all hope.
How devoted of you to wait for me all that time.
How did you do it, Barnabas? How did you get back from the past?
The same way I went into it. Through the I Ching.
But Barnabas,
But what, Julia?
nothing. I didn't think it was possible.
But it was. And here I am.
Barnabas, you all right?
Is there any reason I shouldn't be?
Well, I don't know. Did anything happen to you on the way back?
No.
Well, tell me what happened there. You came back because everything got resolved, didn't you? Isn't that why you came?
I came back because I wanted to.
Well, now, what happened to all those people? What happened to Quentin and Toffy?
Toffy may have been killed in the fire, but no one knows for certain. Quentin left Collinwood to join Amanda Harris in New York.
What about the portrait? Did he take it with him?
Julia, I'm tired. I'll answer all your questions another time.
Barnabas, what is that?
What?
That box. It wasn't in the house before. Where did you get it?
In the past?
May I look at it?
No, don't touch. You mustn't touch this, Julia. It happens to be very old.
Carolyn, it was good of you to come here.
Under the circumstances, I didn't see how I could refuse. You have no idea why she spoke my name.
None. I'm hoping you can help me to find out. This way. Sabrina, I've brought someone here to see you.
Who are you?
This is Carolyn Stoddard.
Hello, Sabrina.
Alone. I must speak to you alone.
Sabrina, it is most important that I hear whatever you want to tell Carolyn.
Alone. Alone!
Professor, I don't mind, if it's all right with you.
Very well, I'll leave the two of you alone.
Are you really Carolyn Stoddard?
Yes.
Ned told me about you.
Ned,
My brother.
what did he tell you about me?
Enough to make me know you are in danger.
What kind of danger?
Even though he loves you, he will try to kill you.
Who will try to kill me?
Chris Jennings.
Chris Jennings will try to kill me. Why? Sabrina, what do you know about Chris?
He is good. But
He what? Sabrina, tell me what you remember.
I remember. Remember how he looked.
How he looked when? Where did you know Chris and when? Sabrina, you must tell me what you're talking about. Let me get Professor Stokes. Perhaps he'll understand you.
Now you must not speak to him. You must promise me.
Why?
You must promise me, please.
All right. I promise. I'll say nothing to him.
Good. Because there's certain things that we've got to deal with, things that have to be resolved around here.
I'm aware of that.
Well, I think I may have found a way to help Chris Jennings.
Oh, yes, Chris. I assume he's still confined to the mausoleum.
No, it was impossible to keep him there. I had to move him to Wyncliffe. But he's left Wyncliffe now. He's back here now.
I see.
But Barnabas, today I was given reason to believe that Charles Delaware Tate may still be alive.
There's no reason to believe that's true. And even if he were alive, he'd be almost 100 and totally useless.
Oh, but we can't just assume that. We've got to make sure, Barnabas.
Julia, Carolyn's with Sabrina Stewart.
Sabrina?
Suppose she talk. Barnabas, I'm glad to see you. How long have you been back?
I came earlier this evening.
I still need your help, Barnabas, desperately.
We were just talking about your problem, Chris.
And I was just about to give Julia the conclusion based on my experience in the past.
Good, now you can tell me.
I do so with regret, Chris.
What do you mean?
In all the time I was in the past, I found no solution for you. I am afraid there is nothing that I can possibly do.
Nothing. But Barnabas, that...
I'm sorry, Chris. I must ask you to excuse me. I'm very tired.
I'll walk you back to the cottage. Good night, Barnabas.
Good night.
I don't believe him. He couldn't have meant that.
I don't know whether he did or not, but I do know that something has happened to him. He's undergone a frightening change. There was no reason for him to lie to me.
Lied to you? What about?
He told me he returned from the past the same way that he went there, through the I Ching. And that would mean through the cellar. But that's not possible, because I locked the cellar door from the outside.
I don't understand.
Neither do I, but I'm going to get to the bottom of it.
How?
You go back to your cottage. I'm going to stay here.
Why?
I'll explain it to you tomorrow. There's something I've got to do here. That box. Why did he bring it back from the past? What does it mean to him? He didn't want me to touch it. There must be something inside it. Something that will explain why Barnabas isn't himself anymore.
breathing. I hear breathing.